Welcome back to Midwest Linux Gaming. I'm your host, Stompin' Llama, and today, as you can see, we are continuing our journey in Final Fantasy XI, Wings of the Goddess. Assuming where I left off is where I left off. It has been far too long since we played Final Fantasy XI. Honestly, since last time I streamed it, that was the last time I logged on, pretty much. Which isn't to say I didn't do a lot last time I logged on. I did. I filled up my inventory full of various rewards. I think I got lucky at the Amon Trophy. Amon Trove. I think I got lucky there. But considering we did finish, apparently, the 2 nation stories, which is more than I thought we were at. This puts us on quest number 9 of 54. Or will. Once we check this out.
Oh, it's you, Vacnios, was it? Simply good to see you again. Simply gorgeous to see you again. Looking for a little of that, are you? I'm afraid you just missed her. I'd be willing to wager a complimentary ticket that she trotted off to that Chateau jungle again. Both she and Portia have made it a habit to visit Sir Ragnarith on a regular basis ever since he sustained that terrible wound. The two of them have been spending so much time with him as of late. Too much, if you ask my humble opinion. I honestly cannot recall that when I last saw them rehearsing. I do sympathize with them during their trying times, but I do have a troop to run. Yeah, ankles may be pain, maybe sprained. Pus may ooze from blisters, and loved ones may be struck down by unholy magic. But the show must go on. I've tolerated their unprofessionalism for long enough. I must remind myself to mete out a fitting punishment for the two of them. Lilith especially. If you happen to run into a prodigal diva, be sure to spare her the details of our conversation. The part of our punishment in particular.
Of course.
Just a moment. Thank you for the other day. The girls owe you their lives. It seems I was mistaken about you. I mean, who would have guessed you'd pack that much of a punch just by looking at you? You truly are full of surprises. Now, just between you and I, my heart skipped a whole beat witnessing you back in Laval. What would you say if I were to invite you to join through Mayakov, I'll personally see to your training as my first and foremost priority.
I truly am flattered, but unfortunately, there's other things I must do.
I was just teasing. You are really adorable sometimes, you know that? Oh, I wish I could have captured your expression on your face just now.
Sure. Sure. Let us go with that, then. Let's see, we're looking for I7. That is the cutscene that plays post the two nation stories. It's quite good. And we are looking for Augustine. Now, Alexei may be disappointed in his I7? Ah, they're in Victory Square. He may be disappointed in them, but ah, there's the one. Of course, it's one of the guards guarding northern Sandoria. Halt! Beyond here lies northern Sandoria and Chateau d'Angel, the residence of His Majesty King Destin. Access through this gate is not granted to commoners. If you haven't business here, be gone. An acquaintance of Sir Ragnarly's of the Knights of the Iron Crest Hawk, and the two Troop Mayakov dancers, you say? No, call me Stompin' Llama. That's the name I've always had. No, Stompin' Llama is the name I choose to go by. Even if you speak the truth, I cannot permit entry to those not in possession of pertinent documentation. What's the matter? Ah, Sir Vestalet. All is well. I was just about to send this loiterer on his way. Ah, you're the one from Laval. This person is known to you, sir? My acquaintance, to be sure. But moreover, a close friend of certain Ragnarly's himself. You would do well to treat him with all such courtesy. Well, that in and of itself is not the direct cause of most diabetic issues, although it doesn't help. That much is certain. I... 1,000 pardons, sir. You are free to pass. Oh, it's you. Well met, Ragnios of the Seven Cores. Glad am I to see you again. What brings you to this ramshackle part of town, if I may ask? Dismissed. Oh, that's gonna be fun. At least you'll have art to reference, which is always helpful. I'm gonna guess it's the feet. It's almost always the feet with a lot of people. Surely you've not come because this sad excuse for a wound has been keeping you tossing and turning at night. Your concern is deeply touching, but quite unnecessary. After all, it's not by the virtue of looks alone that I assumed leadership of the proud knights of...
Sir Agnelis!
It's nothing.
But, my lord...
Agnios, I do have a favor to ask you. Not a single soul can know of my wound. Not those in my unit. No one. Never has there been a time so critical for us in this accursed war. The Ironcrest Hawks were nigh annihilated at the Battle of Lathane. It's taken me till now to painstakingly rebuild what little remained. Soldiers cannot be sustained by rations alone. They must be nourished by hope and instilled with confidence. That is true. If I were to collapse, nay, if the mere word of my condition were to fall upon the soldiers' ears, all that I've labored for would have been for naught. Can I trust you to fulfill this simple request? Yes. Ah, you have my undying gratitude. I couldn't hope for a more dependable comrade like you than you. The War Council will be convening presently. By your leave? Stubborn man, but he has to be.
Sir Agnelis. That is always the way with him. It does not take a trained eye to see he weakens with each passing day. But in front of his knights, he'd sooner throw away his life than betray his true condition. I'm so worried for him.
That's true.
If the wound were to tighten its grip, if Sir Agnelis were to fall, never to rise again, the thought alone, it's too much to bear.
It's all right.
Thank you. Kind souls like you are few and far between in this age of strife. I believe I understand why Lilizette has taken to you. Moonshade Wolverine, her troopmates call her in jest, and somewhat fittingly so. But dare to venture beneath that superficial layer, and you'll find a gentle, caring young woman who really just needs a friend. Lilizette once shared her secret with me. She told me how we'd lost her parents, and all the solitude she's had to endure since they left her alone in this world. You'll look out for Lilizette, won't you, Vecnios? I doubt this makes any sense, but seeing you, the two of you together, warms me up and warms me inside, in such a way I've never felt before. Oh, were you looking for Lilizette? She was mumbling something about catching a cat, and she took off with a few other troop members in tow but a moment ago. There was talk of going to Jungnir Forest, if I heard correctly. I wasn't privy to any more of that, I'm afraid.
Of course she's off to Jugnir. Of course she's off to Jugnir Forest. After all, Kate Sith, one of the Kate Siths, has contracted us to do something out here, but I'm not sure what they're actually up to. Like, all the Kate Siths, they're definitely up to something. Teleportation assistance. It's around far font. Go to east round for south. Not south. S. Past. That's the closest one to go to. And if I'm remembering correctly... Oh, absolutely. Art is something I always do like. Art is something I can appreciate, even if I'm not part of the group demographic that it was designed for. I always do enjoy art. It's always something interesting to see. And a little PG, I have seen worse. I've existed on the internet since the early 2000s. I have seen worse. That is all I will say on that subject, mind you. But to exist on the internet long enough, well, you see things. More than likely not. More than likely not. Trust me, we just got a, good morning. Or afternoon, whatever it is. It's nighttime here. Trust me, we just got a dominatrix boss on the current raid tier in Final Fantasy XIV. She is a character. Also that. I6. That must be one of these over here. There it is. Elegant footprints. That's what we're looking for. It is just so much larger.
Ha! You're mine now, you pompous crown-wearing feline!
I mean, we're talking multiple, like, 40-hour storylines.
Huh? Rachnios? What do you think you're doing wandering into the trap I laid out for that furball Kate Sith? Don't just lie there like a dolt. Up with you. Up! Though we are on the end is in sight. This is the second to last expansion. Although it is the second, although there are 3 storylines to complete. So technically there might consider it, 3 expansions to go. Who do we have here? Is he a friend of yours, Lily? Oh, I recognize him. He's the one we stacked on Ronfar the other day. You've been cozying up with this hunk of a man here, Lily, but never thought to tell us. Our ferocious fame-bearing Lily's managed finally to bag herself a boyfriend? And look, not even the slightest hint of a broken nose or dislocated jaw on him. Hey, stop jumping to deluded conclusions. I can handle the rest by myself. So get back to Sandoria, the lot of you. Troop dismissed. Aww. Well, we've been out here for too long as it is. Any longer and the boss will be screaming our hides for the hides off our backs. Agreed. Break from this catty obsession would do you a world of good too, Lily. Yeah, I was surprised we're on part 43 as well. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. Don't you think fish as bait to catch a cat is a wee bit cliched? Away with you! Yeah, I was just looking at the numbering system. I'm like, this is the longest set of streams we've had. This is going to be a long set, which is why I'm going to try and focus it down in the first half of this year. And I say half of this year because I figured that it'll probably take us through June. Which is a shame because there's plenty of games I'd like to play alongside it, but we'll see how long it takes. Rachnios, I trust it's still your intention to honor the promise you made? The promise to help me capture Kate Sith and save Sir Ragnaly's? I mean, there's always the bust and the but. Those are always ones most people like emphasized. So that's generally what people would emphasize. Although there are plenty of people who do things like eyes and face. After which, we make our long-awaited intercontinental debut as the professional tag team duo, the Future Fabulous. May I review the contract? If you what? You've already given me your word, and that's the last I'll hear of it. Now, with me, or stalking that bumptious feline. She's nowhere to be seen. We're doing something wrong. Perhaps the bait is a bit too cliched, like Tanja suggested. Do you think we should try something different as bait? Also true. It might be for the best. But what else would be worth trying? And now the game has chosen one of 4 random items. I have an idea. Let's review the intelligence we've gathered for our target so far. After all, knowing the enemy is half the battle. Now, Rachnios, what kind of creature do you think Kate Sith actually is? A cat, yet not a cat. I see. Moving on, what do you think her paw pads feel like to the touch?
Tauntly firm.
Now, what do you think she likes?
High places.
I thought as much. That reminds me, what color are her eyes again?
They're green. With envy.
And what kind of noise does she make when she cries?
Probably something like that. I don't think we've ever heard Kate Sith cry, so I think she just meows.
From my recollections of her past appearance, I can't shake the feeling that something's missing. But what could that something possibly be?
Now here's the thing. The wiki says you will be asked for an item based on the answers we've given. However, no pattern has been worked out as to what items correspond to these questions. So I'm assuming it just randomly rolls the item and then asks you these stupid questions. Appearance-wise, what does Kate Sith lack? Yes, Ifrit. I think the cat lacks savageness.
I see. Based on your answers, I'm concluded that we can lure Kate Sith out. We should use...
Please be something I have. Lynx meat.
A slice of lynx meat as bait. While cats undeniably love fish, surely they find tender cuts of meat just as, if not more, appealing. Now, go find us a piece of lynx meat. I'll have a new trap rigged, and by the time you're ready to go...
Lynx meat, what drops that? Oh, we'd have to go all the way to Marefed Mountains? Huh. Well, first we'll see if it's available in the auction house. Oddly enough, a slice of lynx meat, and this is the weird thing about Final Fantasy XI's crafting system, is an ingredient you could use for rabbit pie. No, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm not gonna argue with the game either. Okay, the auction house is just over here. And they have their New Year's event going on. Actually, a whole bunch of events going on. I think they've actually got an experience boosting campaign going on right now. Actually, a double experience boosting campaign, because the next one's going to be in June as well. Let's see, bid for food, ingredients. Thankfully, I've already sorted these. What's the price history on these? Ah, they're cheap. Thankfully, they're cheap. There we go. There's our fresh-ish, I should say, lynx meat. Ah, there's something we have to do before we leave. It's... See, we're going to need to change our sub job to thief. Reasons that will become obvious once we get back into Dugnir Forest. J6 and F10. And back we go to the Ranfar font in East Ranfar. Ranfor, excuse me. That's the proper term. According to Final Fantasy XIV, it's Ranfor. I mean, technically they're not wrong. And of course I always called Horless Peak, but it's actually Orlais. Because I forgot, Sandoria is French. What trusts should we summon? We're gonna need... where's Lion? Gonna need Lion. You... And you... You... And you. Because we've got a little bit of farming to do. Because, of course, we are going to need an item. At F10, you say? Go for it! What else do you have in the exciting news category? I'm always glad to hear good things happening. Good to hear, good to hear. Someone who will listen to you. That's always good to have. That's always good to have. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you don't want to rush into those types of commitments. That's a good way to end up with some serious problems down the road. Yeah, exactly.
Ragnios, you're finally back. We'll have the cat in the bag at long last.
Sometimes we forget this is a 15-year-old. She is very much bored out of her mind.
She's here.
Oh, this is Koig.
And what might this be? Meow. I have you now.
Thing is, we don't know which Kate Sith is the one that's contacted us or Lilizette, since there are many Kate Sith.
What is the meaning of this? Release me, I say. Catch and release. Not a chance, cat. I have questions, and you'll oblige me the answers if you know what's good for ya. I want to know what happened at Laval, and more. What are you talking about? I haven't a clue.
We caught the wrong cat.
Don't play a fool with me, cat. You're really trying what little patience I have. Ow! It hurts! Ah, the pain! You have the ability to manipulate time, don't you? Take us back to before the incident at Laval occurred. I must go back and see Sir Ragnarly's. Please. Huh? I understand now. I'm finally clear. The insolent young girl of a slip now mentioned. Huh? Now it all makes sense. Falling into place. Sorry, but your plight is not our concern. Falling on deaf ears. For our own reasons, we did we open Atmos? You're little more than playing pieces on a chessboard. Pieces to be played. Need I remind you of the position you're in now? I suggest you choose your words with greater tact. And don't think I've forgotten about what your swiping claws did to my immaculate complexion. I'm holding you accountable should disfiguration cause ticket sales to slump. Let's go. Losing consciousness. Now listen to me. If we don't say Father, the Crystal War will be lost. Don't you see? Father, Ragnarly's B. Bellamont is supposed to go down in history as the hero of the Battle of Juno. Without his deeds, the battle would have not ended in favor of the Allied forces. The Battle of Juno. Was everyone able to catch all that? Were you tuned in?
That is a question I will leave unanswered for various reasons.
One, two, three. What in the name of the goddess? You again? Quite a nuisance you're proving to be. A proverbial thorn in the side. They must be the ones thou spoke of. Had a run-in. Why do you insist on impeding our mission? So, make difficult our 9 lives? Look! Just help Sir Ragnarly's already.
That is also true.
Yes, with regards to that matter, that Ragnarly's B. Belmont could be the hero of Juno, adorned with shiny, shiny medals. Seems like a meeting is in order. Time for a discussion. All cats assemble, gather round. The Battle of Juno, of which this girl speaks, is the battle which proves to be the turning point of the Crystal War, is it not? The pivotal moment? A curious possibility? Positively curious. Can she be trusted? Her words hold truth? Could they be the champions of the dawn? And perhaps we should assist them. Lend them a helping hand. A lot of you so easily fooled. Quick to take the bait. Give me one reason we should trust that girl. I'm of the same opinion. Make scratching posts out of them, I say. A little stress relief.
Not seen Coraline, but I've seen enough of it to get what you're talking about.
Now, Coig. Violence is the first resort of the incompetent. No harm in hearing them out. Let them have a say. Yes. Let them tell us all about that underwear fellow. Lingerie. That's Ragnarly's, Noi. Ragnarly's. Ah, yes. An unusual name. Should Ragnarly's be a playing piece on our side of the board? It would be a shame not to exploit him. A wasted resource. A befuddling dilemma. A sort of dilemma.
There are 9 of them, I just realized.
Hey, aren't you finished yet? Silence! Impatient one! Distract us not from our discussion. Discussing a distraction. Very well, then. Let me know as soon as your meeting's over, you hear? The mission's fulfillment, none should be reminded, is our utmost priority. Must stay the course. So long as it serves to succor the children of Altana. All valid arguments. Let's settle the matter with a vote. Settle once and for all. All those in favor of lending a hand to the girl and Raggy? One, two, three, four. Thank you kindly. And those in favor of minding our own business. One, two, three, four. Silly little now. You've gone and forgotten to vote. Didn't raise your hand. Didn't I? Enough, enough. All this bickering will avail us not. Have a thought. Tell them we should. Of the thing that can be got from the lake yonder, then move on. Be on our merry way. Oh, grand idea. We wise them up to its existence. Let them know.
But
What is?
the thing?
Suffering from old age forgetfulness, are we? Going gray about the ears? That thing is none other than the Serranos resin that can be found in the lakeside here. Makes good medicine, it does.
Impressive. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yes, save that knowledge for a rainy day. We tell the girl where it can be obtained, and the rest is entirely up to her. Her entirely. And, oh?
Don't mind me, folks. Carry on.
Nyah!
Oh, don't run away. Wait!
Let go of me, you big brute! Hand me! What was that?
Easy now. May not look it, but I'm actually an avid cat enthusiast. Honest.
No. Stop it. Don't you dare. It's him.
Oh, such adorable little creatures. Makes it all the harder to dispose of you as Hodral commanded. Tell you what. Promise to become my little pet in place of Galarig, and I'll let you live. What do you say? We have a deal?
I'd rather choke to death on my own furball.
It's a heartbreaking reply I so wanted not to hear.
How could they have known about this location? Be made aware? No, you mustn't. You'll only fall into his hands as well. Oh, kid. No.
Oh, the others managed to escape. Hodrill's gonna throw a monstrous fit when he hears of none of this.
What he just did to those cats? But why? Aren't they supposed to be in league with each other?
Huh? You two. You're the ones who tormented my Galarag, weren't you? Don't even think to deny it.
You're one to talk? Father had to live out his days in agonizing pain because of what you did.
Poor Galarag. People who mistreat innocent creatures, people like you, must be made to pay. Yes, Hodrell? Sorry. A few unanticipated problems. I had a few unanticipated problems plop onto my lap. But everything's sorted now. I'll be reporting back soon. I won't be bringing back any stray kittens back with me, if that's what you're thinking. The felines have been tended to, as you ordered. Well, guess 2 of them to be exact. Looks like you get to live to see another sunrise. I must say, you two are a curious pair. What is it that makes you hope to gain, taking the crazed mewlings of those cats to heart? But you're free to do as you please, of course. Be seeing ya. Similar interests always helps. What is he exactly? Never mind that for now. The mystery object the cats were discussing. No, I don't recall that at all. But that's good to hear. Makes good medicine, one of them said. Wait, I'm remembering something. When I was a little girl, Father seemed to always have a little bottle on his person, from which he often took sips. Could that have been the medicine he was taking for the wound? I'll have to go and find out. Needless to say, you'll be accompanying me. After all, it takes 2 to tag team. We'll be back to present-day Sandoria to see Amaro. She's the kindly old woman who used to prepare medicine for my family. Come on, we've no time to lose. And now is when I have to go find and farm up the bulb necessary to create assuming I can exit. Oh, that's not exit. We're looking for... It's not in scanning range. Of course they're not in scanning range. Yeah. I could see 1,000-year door doing that to someone. I really could. There it is. Is 1,000-year door the one with all the bulbs you had to find anyway for one side quest or another? If I'm remembering correctly. Was that 1,000-year door or was that original Paper Mario? Honestly, I've not played either, but I've seen them played. That is true. Bulbs was the first game. Okay. Okay, there's more to the top. There's more north. Yeah, as much as I know of the Paper Mario games. Oh, there's the item I was looking for. Campaign Arbiter. That's the first type of warp I've seen that about. That's true. That kind of experience would help. Well, they definitely go for more of an experimental thought on them. You know, after Thousand Year Door. They decide to start experimenting, which is a thing. And honestly, I personally like it when franchises do things to experiment and try new things rather than the same thing over and over again. Yeah, that's very true. It's definitely one of the low HP games. At least 5 digits. Although I think the first one I saw that started that kind of trend, in my personal experience, was Final Fantasy VII, because I think you start out with at least 4 digits of HP, and you just go up from there. Or at least that's what I'm recalling. The experience felt like, at least. Amra!
Well, well, if it isn't little Lilizette. It's lovely to see you again, Amara. You're looking well. Oh, my, look at you. How you've grown. Why, last time I saw you would have been the day Sir Ragnarly's passed away. Yeah. What's this, the pretty little number you got on there? And what's the pretty little number you've got on there, eh? Looks mighty familiar. Like something your mother used to wear. You like it? It's a performance outfit for my dance troupe. I'm actually a famous dancer now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. The right overdrive's definitely pretty good. Although, the best game I found that had a nice, interesting twist on the traditional battle system was actually Lufia 2. Technically, they're not overdrive, they're more rage moves, but they just had such a variety in Lufia 2 that was peak.
A dance troupe, you say? Do those things still exist? Closest thing we've come to Sandoria nowadays is that Valernio crew, what with their fire breathing and sword juggling and... yes, well, rather rare nowadays. But more importantly, I have a favor to ask, Amara. I need you to make that medicine again. Medicine, you say? You mean the same one I brewed for your father all those years ago? Yes. You see, someone I know was experiencing similar symptoms. Is that right? It breaks my heart to disappoint you, dearie, but I can't make that medicine anymore. But why? Main ingredient. Severnos resin can no longer be found. Oh. It's a real shame, I know. It's been that way for some years. Ever since the last batch of Serenos bulbs was harvested. There's nary a mature tree to be seen nowadays. It's like they all just up and disappeared off the horizon. And but to think that not a decade ago, the saplings from which those bulbs could be obtained were as common as those pesky little hares out on run for. Saplings. In the past. Ragnios? I trust I don't need to tell you what the next course of action is.
You're correct.
Even extinction is no match for this tag team duo. Whatever the task, no matter the odds, future fabulous shall prevail.
Fortunately, we grabbed one of those in anticipation. Somewhere in my horribly messed up inventory.
My. Be that a Serenos bulb you have on there? I haven't seen one of those for... Actually, I can't remember when the last time I saw one. How'd you come by that? Is this what you said you wanted, right? Please, Amara, I need this medicine as soon as... Ever the impatient young Lizette. I see you never were one for waiting. I hate to disappoint you, dearie, but a mature tree is what we need. What? I tried planting the bulb along by the shore of an unspoilt lake. Once it's grown to full maturity, you'll find resin seeping out from the crack of the ripened fruit. That resin, solidified, is what we need to make our medicine. All right, I'll do as you say. Yes, that's the spirit. You'll have to look forward to 10, perhaps 20 years from now. What? Oh, it seems I've developed a knack for disappointing you. Like I said, whatever the task, and no matter the odds. We'll plant this bulb and have it grow to a hulking tree in the blink of an eye, with moss and all. Now we just need to find an unspoiled lake. Do you know of such a place? I must confess my geographic knowledge is sorely wanting. You, on the other hand, seem to be quite well traveled and familiar with the lay of the land. This is what this tag team duo is all about, making up for each other's shortcomings.
Well, it's good to know we're not the only one who can reverse time. I don't recall Lilizette saying she could, but it's good to see that she can. Oh, don't want to think. I don't want to think about that. Yeah, you're not wrong. We are almost 3 decades into the 2000, the 21st millennium. I remember when the big hubbub around Y2K, it was hilarious. No! Wrong location. Up, up, and away! And of course, to complete this mission, this mission is going to require us to wait an in-game day. I love how these missions do that. And again, this is a thing that only Final Fantasy XI does. Like, you were around for the bit of Guild Wars we played on Monday. And if you were around for that, you know that we did several basic early game quests, and none of them required us for waiting of in-game days or any malarkey like that, which 11 is known to have. Well, now granted, it does provide a sense of realism. She's going to be brewing a powerful medicinal potion. Yeah, one in-game day. They do that quite often. They started that in, I think Oddard Gone was the first one to have so many of them. That's the thing with 11's stories. You didn't get, upon expansion launch, the entire story. Oh goodness no, you got a chunk of it. And then you got another chunk later down the road. And then another chunk. And then another chunk. And it was kind of random how much you got. I don't recall any consistency that I'm aware of. Like, they gave you, like, the story divided into 3 bits over, like, I don't know, how long? Year and a half? It wasn't quite as structured as 14's, Final Fantasy 14's is. Technically, 14's storyline for every expansion is split up into the main expansion, and then you have patch 1, patch 2, and then patch 3. Patch 4 and 5 technically are more for setting up the next expansion, but 14 has a nice cadence to its things, whereas 11's is, here's the story of everything that's supposed to happen in one go, but you're not getting the whole thing. It most definitely has a lot of these wait points in it. And like I said, that was something they really started in Treasures of Oddart Gone, which is the third expansion. Because Rise of Xylart and Chains of Promethea didn't have those forced in-game waiting days. That's not the worst of it, though. There's a post-expansion storyline epilogue that requires you to wait. No, not behind paywalls. They're literally wait times. You do not get you cannot pay to make it faster. But the epilogue of Treasures of Oddart Gone requires a waiting till midnight Japanese time. Japanese midnight. In order to do what you need to do. Or on weekly resets. I can't remember. I think it might be weekly resets Japanese time. Yeah, that's what it was. It's a weekly reset Japanese time. Japanese midnight. It is so bad. And there's nothing in game to tell you that either. There you are, bulb. Oh, that's the wrong Earth. Wait, it says E6. Oh, that's definitely the wrong location. Oh, wrong one. There's my mount. All right, E6. I definitely went to the wrong location. Oh god, I went to the terribly hole. I went to the very, very wrong location. That's true. Let's travel to another home point in the sea. It is the fastest way to get to where I need to go, which is E6? That's up by the Maiden Spring. Where are you? Right, because that's not a home point, that's a telepoint, because there's like 4 different ways of teleporting in this game for fast travel. You're not wrong on the EA thing, I will agree with you there. Oh. You're not wrong at all. That's actually something they, oddly enough, Final Fantasy XI still has a development team. And they've talked about how, one of the big things they've talked about is condensing the horribly mangled and slapdash together teleportation and fast travel system they have here. I'm not joking about it being 4 different types. I think it's actually 3. Because you have the warp point, the survival guides, you have the home points, and then you have the telepoints, which are basically the home points, but you need special magics to attune to that. On top of your rings and your various other things. It's there. There's that telepoint. I think I would need a magic in order to go to there. I don't have that. Or maybe it's a ring. Regardless of whatever it is, I don't have that. The E6 is up by the Maiden Spring. There shouldn't be anything major blocking our progress up there. And actually, speaking of EA, that's one of the annoying things that I have found. And I've not been able to get running on Linux, oddly, has been EA's wonderful little launcher. I hate that thing. It's not as bad as Origin. The Origin launcher used to be. The EA app is not that bad. But I, for the life of me, cannot get it to launch. I can get Battle.net to launch. Shoot, even the other day I was able to get GOG Galaxy launching. Which means my GOG games might work. I can tell you this. World of Warcraft is completely Linux compatible. If you can get the Battle.net launcher running. Of course, Blizzard doesn't like supporting Linux, so they don't. But you can get it running. And that's all that matters. Here we go. Here's the item. Here's the location. Da-da-da-da. There you are. The bulb has been done. It has been planted. And now we have to wait 20 years. Nice. That does sound like a delicious, delicious... delicious, dinner. Not onion rings, exactly. But, from making that medicine. You'd be surprised the amount of medicines that can be made from plants. In fact, most medicines are still plant-based, believe it or not, in some way, shape, or form. Nasty puppy. Bad puppy dog. Actually, we should just be able to wander down to that Atomos and whop our way back in there. Yeah. Yeah, we should just be able to head down to that Atomos down here and pop our way back. Because one of the interesting things that Final Fantasy XI story has already messed with from early is it is more of a... Although we're dealing with time travel right now in Wings of the Goddess, it's more of a Star Trek style time travel rather than a Doctor Who style time travel. If you understand the difference. Splinter timelines happen. Like all the bloody... What? No. Oh, I read the map wrong. All the time. In fact, I think I did a short stream where I did some Abyssia. That's not an expansion. That's a... 11 had some weird things going on. Please ignore the clones over there. Someone's multi-boxing. But yeah, Splinter timelines happen. And we're not sure whether or not we're currently in Wings of the Goddess is one of those or not. It seems to be like it could be part of the main story, the main timeline, but we're not sure. Splinter timelines make things very confusing very, very quickly. Worse than time travel normally does. Like, time travel gets very confusing very, very quickly. And it's very easy to mess up a time travel storyline when writing one. Like, the only reason I bring up Doctor Who's time travel is because I find the way most of the writers have written their things, their storylines are pretty good involving time travel. Although you very rarely see the effects of time travel, but that is mostly budget related more than anything else. And Star Trek's Splinter timelines get very confusing very quickly. Mostly because you end up with things like Star Trek 2009. If you watched it, and Into Darkness, and what was the other one? Beyond? To Normal Time! And 20 years have passed. 20-ish. I think it's either 20 or 25. But regardless, 20 years have passed. And the orcs still roam the forest. Because of course they do. This is near their natural homeland anyway, despite the fact the war is still kind of going on. And yes, that was a goblin riding a chocobo. I'm fairly certain he's part of the events that are going on. Fairly certain, at least. Ah, the time has ticked over. I'm hoping we can get through this set of missions. Because if we can get through at least to the start of the next nation quests, that'll put us mission number 15 of 54 on this expansion, which is pretty good progress. Then again, that is what Saturday is for as well. Yeah, we should be able to get back to her before the end of this in-game day. And then once the new game day ticks over, there's the Hummus-rich Earth. That's odd. There's nothing growing here. Did the bulb fail to sprout? Huh? There it is. The tree came to life. And now we must chop it to size. Oh, I feel like a tree fell on me. Oh, the resin. Did you? Hooray! Let's get back to Amara without delay. Sandoria, the original location. Southern Sandoria, home point 4. Let us go. There you are.
Amara, we have it! Eh? What's the ruckus? Is the house on fire? Good goddess! Serrano's risen! Now, pinch my cheeks and call me senile. What miraculous manner of magic did you use to get a hold of this? That's a trade secret. Now, please, Amara, make the medicine. Very well then, I'll get started. But just so you know, this is some quack's instant synthesis recipe. Don't forget to breathe from time to time while you wait.
And in plenty of time. Because it is currently 6:40 in game. We have to wait till after midnight. 5 in-game hours with which to do... Might as well look at what the monthly objectives that I can hit are. This one requires a, well, while we wait for the in-game timer to take over, there are some small things we can take care of for, like, monthly objectives that I've missed and things of that nature. Thank you, Moogle, for finally loading my house. There we go. Change our secondary job back to Samurai. Put all of our extra important spell things away. Look at that. Thunder 4 and 5. Let's see. The one was a wanted objective. I know how to deal with those. Those are easy enough to do. It's the experience chain one that's going to be a little bit annoying. But only a little bit. Southern Sandoria, main entrance, and away we go. Oh, right, but I would need to grab an objective. See, and that's under unities for We'll take that one. Which location was that one in? Round 4. Wanted encounter for 199 and below. Round 4, yes. Instant teleportation number... Actually, there are 4 types of teleportation. I forgot about Unity warps. There's also Void Watch. Okay, there's more than 4 types of teleportation. Goodness me. Because I also forgot about... I forgot about Void Watch. That's a different type of warp also. There are many types of teleportation in this game. And honestly, it's a little hard to keep them all straight. No, that's Void Watch. That's not where we want to go. Well, that's definitely not where I wanted to go. H, J8, 10, and H. Yeah, that's Void Watch. That's a completely different teleport altogether. That was a Void Watch teleport. That's not where I wanted to go. Granted, I haven't done Void Watch. I should do that type of content on my own time at some point. That's what I'm looking for. This type of ethereal junction. Spawn an NM, and now we kill him. Throw down some sword play. Some meditate. Some Haseo. Big old nasty type of worm. That should have done that for the monthly. Yes, that did. And would you look at that? It is almost midnight. In game, that is. It is well past midnight where I'm at. But there's someplace we can go and something else we can do while we still continue to wait. And that's actually going to Feyin, of all places. And there's really, realistically, only one reason we're here. Realistically. Grab Semi. And Lion. And it's specifically because there's some things we need to kill that we can kill that are here. Specifically, these Wekufs. That sounds like a Star Wars quote, but I couldn't place it. Exactly. Yeah, because I think I only have to kill like 20 of... I kill like 10 of these things. Oh, here's your bonus. Yeah, I think... Okay. It's been a long time since I've watched the prequels. It's definitely one of the more obscure quotes from the prequels, too. Oh, most definitely they will. Yeah, sometimes bosses like to flex what power they have, as annoying as it can truly be. But that's normally a sign that that boss is not worth, you know, working for anyway. You know. If the boss is not willing to work with the employees, then they weren't worth working for to begin with. Not really. Then there's a merit point, which is one of the 3 embedded endgame grinds they stuck in here. This is a sign an MMO is as old as 11 is when they have 3 different layers of endgame grinding for various stats. From 3 different eras where there were 3 different endgames, and you're expected by the community to have done at least 2 of those. Oh, there's the Clone Wars. That's even worse, because as much as I am a Star Wars fan, I never watched the Clone Wars. So, yeah. That makes me even more of a heretic, to be honest. That's true. It did a very good job of that type of expansion of the lore. Yeah, I do recall that. And it wasn't, here's the thing though, it wasn't just Mace who did it, it was the entire council. Mace is just arrogant enough to come across as, well, Mace Windu. Star Wars actually has quite a bit of expansive lore like that I do thoroughly enjoy. For the most part.
Ah, young ones. The medicine's ready. I sincerely hope it serves its purpose. Thank you so much, Amara. Leatherdet. I recall I haven't told you in the past, but this medicine possesses no healing powers. None whatsoever. While it can alleviate the more severe symptoms, and relieve the pain by way of dulling the senses, the effects are temporary at best. You understand that, don't you? Yes, Amara. I understand. You're the last person who needs any reminding, but no medicine of any kind was able to save your father. Come, Rachnios. We have a delivery to make. It delights me to see what a beautiful young woman Lizette's become. Quite a far cry from that snotty, snot-nosed crybaby used to come running to me, eyes all red whenever the other children teased her. I can only imagine the solitude she must have felt, growing up bereft of her parents. Man. I'm relieved to see she's no longer alone.
Well, it was a Death Star because it could kill millions. At a glance. No. Granted, the name was a little on the nose, but so was the Imperial-class Star Destroyer. There we go. Or better yet, in Legends... Hold on one second. Or better yet, in Legends, the Sun Crusher. Now that was a thing. That was an arc in Star Wars, in the original extended universe. The Sun Crusher. Something so powerful that you couldn't even destroy it. Just had to throw it into the sun and hope you never have a reason to pull it out again. Or the Star Forge. God, extended universe Star Wars was... Legends is hilarious. Ah, Ragnios. I crave your pardon for my recent effrontery. Sir Ragnalis himself has informed me of the invaluable role you played in our nation's defense. Please, enter at will. Your passage shall be hindered no more. I beseech your reconsideration, Sir Nag Malada.
Impossible. The message has already been delivered to His Majesty the King.
But sir, the citizenry, they deserve the right to have a say in this matter. That's all... That's explained in extraneous things that aren't the movies. Specifically the comics.
It would appear we have visitors. You're evidently a busy man. I'll keep you from your duties no longer.
If you could spare but a few moments, I'd like to introduce you to Rachnios of the Seven Corps of Bastok, a soldier in the Alliance.
Is that so?
Rachnios, as a fellow member of the Allied forces, I implore you to join me in dissuading Sir Nagmalada. Medicine, you say? Oh, that must wait. We have more urgent matters to resolve. Sir Nagmalada, you see, has brought dire news of dire gravity from Juno. Very dire things.
It's the intent of the duchy to surrender to the Beastmen Confederate.
The beastmen have been targeting Juno with an unsettling singleness of mind as of late. Many fierce clashes taking place within the city's immediate vicinity. According to Sir Nagmalada, Juno cannot stay the enemy's infinite battering on its walls for much longer. It's only a matter of time before the duchy's completely exhausted of manpower and resources.
The Archduke wishes not for the nation to continue bleeding in vain. Following the lengthy and impassioned deliberation, surrender was deemed the sole course of action that could avert the total annihilation from befalling Juno.
But
the three nations, too, are advised to commence preparations for an unconditional surrender.
if I may venture a proposal, I shall seek an audience with King Destined and request permission to dispatch troops to bolster Juno's defensive effort. Meantime, if talk of surrender could be held in abeyance...
A generous offer, but I fear it will be in vain. It's no secret that Zandoria suffered numerous stinging defeats at the hands of the Beastmen. The Duchy is not so unsympathetic as to deprive your ailing army of what little remains.
Your Excellency is gracious, even in declinature. If the Duchy finds Zandoria's assistance alone wanting, I shall personally see to it that Bastock and Winters, too, provide Juno with reinforcements. If it pleases you. Sir Nagmalada?
So be it. Archduke Camelot will be informed of your proposal, but his opinion is unlikely to change. I believe this will prove to be a royal waste of time. I take my leave of you.
There's many things you can do without hands, but none of which are things I particularly enjoy. Hands are very much useful.
My lord, where are you headed?
To see the king and request his permission to mobilize a contingent of knights for the defense of Juno.
Will he be all right? Something weighs heavy on your mind. Is this Sir Magnolata? It seems to me Sir Ragnalise is unwell. A wound taken to the chest, if experience tells me true. How did you... I beg, sir, please keep this matter in confidence. I understand. Thank you, my lord. I know a skilled physician in Juno. At your word, I can have medicine prepared to treat Sir Ragnally's affliction. You're very kind, my lord, but Lilizet and Ragnios have already brought some for him. But thank you all the same. Is this Sir Magnolata? I say this not lightly. I want you to come with me. Doing so will not be for your sake, but for that of the world also. Of this fact you will come to realize in due time. What are you saying? The world? Now come. Touch me not, sir! A simple dancer I may be, but my lord would do well to not underestimate me. A spirited woman. No less than I'd expected. Forgive my trespass.
It's a good thing we killed that man.
What was that about?
It's a good thing we killed that man a long couple of expansions ago. The king has granted permission for both the Ironcrest Hawks and the Iron Rams to be mobilized. The 2 units will depart as soon as preparations are complete. As for me, I shall head first to the other 2 nations to entreat their army's aid, and rejoin the Knights in Juneau shortly thereafter.
But my lord, you still need rest.
I'll be fine. Now make haste and...
Sir Ragnarlise.
It's nothing.
My lord, you mustn't go. Not in your current condition.
No, this chance must not be wasted. Even Corporal has pledged his full cooperation and will assume the role of official emissary on the mission.
Excuse us. We brought this medicine for you. First. And second, Ragnius and I volunteer to undertake the journey to Bastock and Windhurst in your stead. Ragnius has proven himself to be a competent navigator. I guarantee you'll not find a more qualified substitute. We'll be back before you know it. And since Count Boral will be doing all the talking at each destination, you can rest completely assured.
So Count Boral is Halver. Of course he is.
Please, consider, my lord. I have every confidence that these 2 will not fail you.
Lilizette, I'm relying on you. The fate of Vanadiel may well be resting in your hands.
Yes, sir. Leave everything to us, sir. Now, this way, my lord. You need to lie down.
Now, I must admit, never once in my life have I dreamed of traveling in the company of a troop Mayakov dancer. Not that I'm complaining, of course. Not in the least.
The pleasure's all ours, Count Boral. My name is Lilizette, and with me here's my trusty partner Ragnius. Together, we form the unbeatable tag team duo Future Fabulous. Just to give my lord an idea of our recent accomplishments, a few days ago, we made mincemeat out of a dark dragon, and on a separate occasion, we overcame the extinction of a plantoid species.
Draw my sword!
Whatever the task, no matter the future, no matter the odds, Future Fabulous shall prevail.
Yes, I am just the muscle. That's wonderful. During these needy times, we certainly welcome all the help offered us. On behalf of Sandoria and her citizens, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude for coming to our aid in this hour of need.
You needn't mention it, my lord. We are at your most humble services.
Now, to recap, our contact in the Federation of Windhurst is Velda Galda of the Patriarch Protectors. And in the Republic of Bastock, Radford of the Strategic Command. Both are acquaintances of mine. Royal messengers have already been dispatched to inform both parties of our coming. We should not have to wait over long to be granted audience with the Warlock Warlord and President Prain. Now then, without further ado...
Aye, aye, sir.
That is a name for a leader of your country, the Warlock Warlord. Anyway. As I was attempting to say before I got interrupted... Yeah, before I got interrupted. Palpatine. Here's the thing. Technically, he calls Rey his granddaughter. However, Rey's father is actually a clone of Palpatine. Which means genetically, he's actually her father. But familial relationship-wise, because the clone is basically treated as a runaway son, he, familial-wise, he's more grandfather, but genetically, she is quite literally his daughter. So yeah, that's some Star Wars lore for you. I believe that's from one of the comics. It is a bit of a shame that a lot of that expanded lore, especially for the sequel series, the sequel trilogy, is extra and not explained in the movies, like, at all. I mean, there's a line in the movie as unusual as it is, you know, somehow Palpatine returned. I still can't believe that actually was a line in the films. Honestly, they could have used, like, anyone to have written the entire arc rather than relying on 3 different writers, which turned into 2 different writers when Rian Johnson messed up the one. I didn't mess it up, he just kind of threw a wrench into the middle of it with the Last Jedi. I enjoyed them because they were a horrible mess, but it's like, it's not the worst I've seen. After all, I watched Star Trek Into Darkness. And I have opinions on Into Darkness and why it was so bad. So many opinions, I must say. And the only reason I can let Star Wars get away with such sloppy writing is because they write decent secondary lore that explains a lot. Star Trek does not. With very few exceptions. It's exactly why that should not be floating. Where's the rest of it? Game. I realize I have extreme render distances on. That's not even a... Oh, there it is. There's that next segment popped into place. Sometimes this game shows its age. Have a good sleep. Take it easy. Take your time. Take your time. I'll definitely have a look at it and we'll see. We'll see what it is. We'll see it in all its glory. Anyway, where we actually have to go is actually down here. But I'm going to grab this Atmos and this over here near Castle Troja. The castle's at. Before we head down there. Just so we have some easier way around places. Actually, I'm not sure which one we have to go to. There's actually a couple of ways we could have gone. Raise your feather and depart! And now we venture back through the dead Atmos. Now we head south. There we go. Sometimes you have to reset your speed, your mount's speed, because it just goes, and I'm going slowly. And we go slowly. Yep, that's a Castle of Troja. Astroja. Astroja? I think it's astrologia, is how it's pronounced. I am under attack by something. Of course, one of you decided to come over here and say hello. A block of glue. I've always found it very interesting about these artificial channels, whatever they're called, whatever they are. The ancient architecture for channeling the power of the crystals, that they looks so much like a spine. It's like, why did you choose to make it look like a spine? That is just disturbing. Like, that's actually kind of disturbing that you would do that. I mean, I get architecture and I get having an aesthetic and everything. But why did you make it look like a spine? That just... It's just ick. And I'm not normally someone who gets icked out by things, but that's just... Ugh. Why would you do that? For something called an axe beak, it has a very bird-like beak. At least the ones in 14 have an axe-like shape to their beak. That one just has a normal bird beak. If anything, I'd expect it to be called, like, sickle beak. Somewhere over here should be our connection to Fort Kaguro Narago. Kaguro Narago. It's a Windhurst fort, so it's not surprising that it's got a rhyming name. Kaguro Narago. Yes. The things we do to get to Sarabatuta. Saruta Baruta. Oh, good. We are still mounted. Saruta Batuta. I can't believe I've been mispronouncing that this entire time. It is Saruta Baruta. Saruta Batuta. I'm not going to be able to say that now. Now I'm slightly upset. I am in the wrong area. Because that's a one-way area, of course. I should have read the map better. We can't go this way. Through the fort, we have to go the long way through the fort. Grumble, grumble, grumble. This is not the first time this has happened to me, misreading one of these maps. I do see the arrow now that I see it. That just means we get to cross the main map to over here. Remember, folks, hydration. It's very good for you. Not only does it keep your throat hydrated, which is very important, but also keeps your body going. After all, you are like 70% water. And it is very, very easy, especially during the middle of winter, to get dehydrated. In fact, it's easier than summer. Oh, goodness me. So many crags in this land. This is going to actually be very annoying to cross, I imagine. On foot. Yes, it is. Especially with these plants getting in the way. I'm actually surprised the plants have collision. Most games don't even bother with that kind of collision. That is a scorpion. You see that double pincer, those double stingers it has? Oof. Plus it's got that nice shiny yellow. That is, oof, a thing you do not want to mess with. We have finally reached the road again, and where the spine connects back down to the ground. That's the other thing that kind of makes it kind of like a spine, is that it just exists for so long just flying in the air. It's like some big animal just crashed down. And as its body slowly rotted off, the bones just petrified in place. Forever defying gravity. I mean, clearly that's not what happened. We know that. We know that's not what happened. But okay. That is one of the connection points. I mean, either way, we should... There's the secret entrance. I will say this about Windhurst. She at least uses her natural defenses well. Like, she has so many winding... Windhurst has so many winding cliffs and ravines and things that it makes it very, very defensible until you get into Saruta Batuta. Then things get a little harder to defend. Also, in the quote-unquote present day, much like Bastock, they've abandoned a lot of those types of external defenses because the Crystal War was won. And while the Beastmen continue to be a thorn in everybody's side, they're not problematic anymore, not like they used to be. They're not a united confederation. They're just a bunch of warring individual tribes, which are easier to handle. But that's also related to more of the storyline of the original game, the base game, into Rise of the Zillart. And I need to supposedly, I suppose, start calling them by their proper name, the Zillart, rather than the Xylart, the Zillat. Even if I thoroughly disagree with the name, because we've always known them as the Zillart, as the as of Xylart. Now they're the Zillat. It's different. It's different, but it'll be okay. Now that they've given voices to some of these characters. I am hoping beyond hope that this direction works and I don't have to go through the actual fort itself. Because that's just going to be a minor annoyance. And honestly, it's going to be just a minor annoyance, more than anything. And just wastes time, of which we don't have a ton of. I don't think we're going to get to where I want to end off at, but we'll reach a substantial enough point. Yep, there's some overhead bridges. We will find out shortly. Yep, because there's the exit to the fort. And it's just downhill from there. Yeah, because we've seen Bastok's defenses, and they use cannons. But there's no such cannons here. I guess Winters just uses magics. Magics and mages. Mages and magics. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely, yeah. The Taru stand here and they just fling their magics. I mean, that's why they've got that block there, after all. Gotta give them the capability of seeing over the wall in order to cast their magics, right? And as for the other ones, well, that's where the Mithra archers or range units sit in. Launch their arrows or whatever. Maybe even javelins. Probably javelins. Wouldn't be guns because that's a Bastok thing at this point. And here we are. West Saruta Baruta. Doesn't look like it's been that badly under siege, but well, other than the craters in the ground, oh my goodness. Clearly, over the last 20 years, someone came through here and decided to fill in all these crater holes. Fortunately, unlike, say, France or the forests of the battlefields of World War I, they don't have to worry about unexploded ordnance. That much is true. Once the magic has exploded out of things, it just leaves a giant crater. So, other than, you know, scars upon the land, that's really all you get from magic explosions. Unless you're talking maybe potential residue from, like, ghosts and things. The creation of ghosts. That might be considered, like, unexploded ordnance. And into the maw we go! Now, the most interesting about Windhurst, if I am recalling correctly, because of Windhurst's traditional entrances are here and over here in eastern Saruta Bertuta. This is normally the main entrance right here, and I think there might be one up there as well. However, they were clever because they don't have walls. Not like, Bastok does. They just made a giant chasm of unpassable water. And put on the other side of it, there's their defenses. That's a killing field if there ever was one. And so what do? They make a second entrance. One smaller, with stone, doesn't exist. Oh, that's a magic one. There is a way in. There's a way into Windhurst, and now I'm forgotten what it was. Maybe you have to go the other way around? Huh. Oh, now I see it. I loaded up the map for Windhurst, and I'm like, surely there's more. Surely there's an explanation. There is. There is, and I forgot about it because, again, it's not the normal entrance. Just like Bastok, they created a special one just for here. You see that? That's not our normal exit. I'm fairly certain. Granted, I'm not entirely familiar with Windhurst and her shenanigans. I don't play Windhurstian characters. Yeah, there's an entrance. And it's blue, which means we can enter freely. It definitely looks like it's been attacked. We ride for Saramog! We'll teach those Yugiro to fear the Lebren warlocks! No retreat, Haru! No surrender! God, they look so weird on there, being so tiny on their chocobos. What are you doing blocking the road like that? Tiny Taro, look at the size of him, he's tiny! Do you want me known as the buffoon that injured Ajito Marujito, child genius? Is this the first time you've seen the warlocks? Hey, some sort of country bumpkin? Squad's been likely off to investigate those things. Being from the country, you've probably seen one. Weird monsters with a gaping maw. Looks like it'd swallow you whole. Anyway, whatever it is, isn't good. I said something dreadful on the horizon. If only they would allow me to join the warlocks. I'd use my skill at magic to solve this mystery and preserve the peace of Windhurst at the same time. Why won't they recognize my talent? Just because I'm a child? A genius is never appreciated in his own time. And you are literally less than knee height, my sir. I mean, look at that. Knee. Less than knee. I could literally punt you.
But I can't be wasting my time with the bumpkin. I've miss business with the Mithran mercenaries. Don't go blocking any more roads!
Oh. And we are looking for Velda Galda. Over at K9. Oh. Yeah, they got a ways to go yet. Yeah, they've got temporary tents set up. Craters inside the city. Entirely destroyed facilities. Trees that are quite literally falling apart. Yeah, they weren't kidding about Windhurst being attacked. Although I wouldn't call it being razed, which I think is the term they've used for that. Attacked, yes. Razed, not even close. There you are, Valdegata. Valdegata. Galda.
Count Burial.
Veldegalda, my good sir. It has been a while.
A while it has been indeed. We've been eagerly waiting your arrival.
It's good to see you in high spirits. Now, as you're no doubt aware, the purpose of my journey here is...
Why, the last time we met, it would have been... at the final finals of the Three-Nation Conflict Tournament. That's it. Memories do come flooding back. I must say, the crowning moment of the tournamentario was when, in the dying seconds of the final round, I dropped my lord cold to the ground he wound with the butt of the club and dashed to victory with Petra in hand. Why, it's still freshly wesh in my mind as though it happened just out of yesterday. Ah, those were the days.
Ahem! Pray forgive my cutting short of your delightful reminiscences, but the matter I seek to discuss with the warlord is of the utmost urgency.
Oh, yes, that's right, Taro. Come with me, please. Windhurst extends its welcome to our Sandorian allies.
Official emissary from Sandoria, Halvar M. Borel, at your service.
Well met, Count Borel. I'm Warlock Warlord Robel Akabel. And I, Leko Habanako, military technician and advisor to the Warlock Warlord.
With me are my traveling companions on this mission, Lizette of Troop Mayakov and Rachnios of the 7 cohorts of Bastok.
I see. Now then, what is this urgent matter you wish to discuss?
Yes, well,
surrender.
those were the exact words of Sir Nagmalada.
That the regions surrounding Juno have hosted a great many battles against the Beastmen is well known to us. And what's the kingdom's stance on this matter? My lord, Sandoria is united in the belief that Juno must not fall to the Beastmen. By order of King Destin, preparations are being made to send a contingent of knights to bolster Juno's defenses. And that's why we've come. To seek help from our Windhurstian allies in the form of further reinforcements for the duchy. Something is amiss. Extremely amiss. Nagmalada is renowned 2 continents over as a shrewd negotiator and a brilliant strategist. He certainly isn't the type to be preaching surrender at this premature stage. Which means... Well, we're sorely aware that the Federation must prioritize its own welfare. Juno's surrender would have irreversibly disastrous effect on the war. Please, sirs, I beg you, assist us in the defense of Juno. Leko, what's the current state of our forces? The warlocks cannot be relieved from their posts. Mithra mercenaries, on the other hand, have recently had their numbers replenished. Or perhaps... Understood. Windhurst will not turn a deaf ear to this earnest request from our Sandorian brothers and sisters. Your wish is granted. Juno can count on reinforcements from Windhurst. Thank you, Your Excellency. Let us fight side by side for the survival of Juno and the future of all children of Altana. A moment. If I may inquire your name once more? But of course, I'm Lilizette, Troop Mayakov's brightest young star. Honored to have made your acquaintance. Lilizette. A beautiful name.
They know more than they are letting on. But that is to be expected. Honestly, I'm surprised that it's the Warlock as the leader, because modern Windhurst is headed by the Star Sibyl. So clearly something in Windhurst has changed since the war ended. Clearly. And to Bastok we go. And now we have warp points in all 3 of the main nation states, which is extremely helpful to everybody. Like, I'm still surprised Bastok tore this tower down and built a fountain in its stead. That just seems weird to me. Bradford. He should be nearby. Ah, there you are, Radford. For once, we're not talking to good old Gentle Tiger. My dear Count Boreal, it's good to see you again. We received word that you would be coming. Good to see you also, Radford. My apologies for the late notice. And pray, excuse my brashness, but time is of the essence. How soon can we expect to present ourselves to His Excellency? Word of your arrival has already reached the President's ears. Please, this way. Welcome to our fair republic. It is my understanding that you bring a matter of grave importance to the discussion table. I hope you don't mind that my legate and I are taking part. No, not at all, Your Excellency. No. Now, if you'll allow me to explain the events which have led to the sudden visit. Juno is to surrender? That the very architect of the alliance could have come to such a drastic change of heart is inconceivable. On delivering the news to King Destin, Sir Nagmalada appended that the 3 nations too should make ready for unconditional surrender. Throwing down our swords, however, is the last thing on the mind of Sandorians. Yes, as alls. A Genoan surrender would have a calamitous effect on the war, and must be avoided at all costs. To this end, Sandoria will dispatch a contingent of knights to aid the duchy's defense. And now the kingdom asks that our ally Bastok, too, lend soldiers to its most worthy of causes. Oh, what say you all?
As much as we'd like to rush to Juno's aid, to put it bluntly, we haven't the capacity to do so. We've incurred heavy losses over the course of this accursed war. Any further dents to our rank, and we have no choice but to consider conscripting civilians. I too must concur. As much as I'd like to rush to Juno's aid, in our current state, sending away for even a small contingent of soldiers would be tantamount to cutting off our sword arms in the eve of battle. But... The 4th Division, too, suffers from a severe shortage of hands. Countless Republican soldiers, good men and women, were felled at the Battle of Grauberg. Grave though the situation in Juno may be, I fear we have no soldiers to spare. However, it pains me to say this, Count Boreal, but given the circumstances, Bastok cannot answer the call. We ask for your understanding. Better times such a discussion would not even have been necessary. Fourth Division, 7th Corps Perfectus Zazag reporting. Zazag, what's the meaning of this intrusion? My apologies. As head of the 4th Division, it was I who called upon the Prefectus. The Prefectus. Yes, and my apologies for gate crashing this little party and eavesdropping and whatnot. But enough beating around the bush. Mr. President, sir. Requesting permission to lead the 7th Corps in Juno's defense, sir. You needn't worry about manpower, if that's what's on your mind. As of late, my units received a generous injection of young blood raring to prove themselves on the battlefield. Joking. Surely. The 7th Corps are more akin to a basket of rotten eggs than a military unit. What can a bunch of untrained social misfits hope to achieve? Look at this burger. If you don't mind sparing a little of your precious time, it'd be my pleasure to give you an inspection tour of the 7th Corps. See, the lads and lasses with your own eyes, and even if you'll be compelled to retract your rotten eggs comment, that comes with the Zazag guarantee. It is quite the mystery, but all who join the 7th Corps, even the disagreeable types abandoned by society as lost causes, undergo transformation and are reborn as disciplined soldiers. There, they sure are. Frackness over there being one of my more notable achievements. Who'd have believed that fine soldier standing before you now used to be a foul-mouthed hellraiser? The young'uns in my unit are eager and prepared to suit up at a moment's notice. All I need is for me to give the word. And as an added convenience, it appears that a sizable chunk of the Beastman forces camping out around Juno is made up of Kadav, our specialty. Unlike us, though, the folks over in Juno haven't had much experience dealing with the turtle men and their thick shells. That's why they're having all the rough all the time. Nobody here discounts the duchy's strategic importance. That much we've established. If you were to fold to the Beastmen, it'll only be a matter of time for all the 3 nations follow suit. Let's go and lend a hand to our Genoan brothers and sisters, I'd say. I beg you to consider, Mr. President. Rough-mannered as Zazag is, I can attest to his leadership and prowess on the battlefield. Very well. Perfectus Zazag, have your unit mobilized. Leave the matter in your hands. Now we're talking. Thank you, sir. Mr. President, sir. The 7th Corps will strike out for Juno without delay. Thank you, sir. Now, little missy, I haven't done anything worthy, deserving of such an enthusiastic display of gratitude. There's nothing special about helping out friends in need. Nationality sure as hell ain't got nothing to do with it either. Alright?
Yes, sir.
Lilizette, Magnios, I thank you for your cooperation. With your invaluable assistance, our mission to entreat the aid of the two nations was a success. All that remains now is to relay the word to Juno and ensure no acts of folly such as surrender take place.
Yes, my lord.
I fear this is where we must part. My duties require that I be at my king's side. Take this letter and see it safely into the hands of the Archduke Camelot. After you've done so, be on standby to receive our knights upon their arrival.
Understood, sir.
May the goddess keep you. Well, it's a little early. It's only been 3 hours. But given where these next set of missions start and what happens in them, considering where the next set of missions takes us and everything, I think this is an appropriate spot to call it for today. We'll see you all Friday for... Oh goodness, I've already forgotten what the, what's the demo again for, What is the demo? Oh, Corpus Edax. The demo for Corpus Edax for Friday. And then Saturday, we'll be back again with more Final Fantasy XI, pushing through a whole bunch of the story. Probably through the next nation, nation stories also. Assuming my voice holds out this long. We'll see. I'm not used to doing more voice acting than just one stream per week. We'll see how the voice handles 2. And if it handles it fine, then we'll just keep plowing through Final Fantasy XI. I figure we'll probably be done with Wings 3 or 4 weeks from now. Probably, something like that. Assuming it all goes well. Still gonna try and push through, 11 through the remainder of the first half of the year. We'll see how long Rhapsodies is long. That's gonna be the fun one, is Rhapsodies.
But we'll see you all Friday, same time, for the demo, like I said, of Corpus Edax. We'll see you next time.